Writing linear functions, section 2.4 today. So yesterday we talked about graphing linear functions. Now we're going to talk about writing the linear functions. So writing the equations of lines. Point slope form we're going to talk about today. Yesterday, what form of an equation did we talk about? We did slope intercept yesterday. What was slope intercept?
Y equals mx plus b.
Very good. Slope intercept. Y equals mx plus b. If you look over here, that equation of the line is over there. Guess which other equation of the line is over here on the wall? Point slope form. Okay, point slope form. Now, why do you suppose it's called point slope form? Anybody?
It's the point of the slope of the form.
Because you need a point and you need a slope in order to write the equation. Okay, so point slope form is y minus y1 equals m parentheses x minus x1. And this is used when I know a point and when I know a slope. When I have those two tidbits of information, I plug them in, and now all of a sudden it's in point slope form. Okay, so notice here, they have the point 210, the slope of 3. There should be a 10 there. Should be y minus 10 equals 3 parentheses x minus 2. And now that's in point slope form. Okay. So let's look at the first couple things here. Little review from yesterday. Well, how do I find slope? To help us out today, we need to start finding some slope. Who remembers the slope formula from yesterday? Rise over run is slope, but what is the slope formula?
It's like x minus.
No. Which one goes up? y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So remember my xy coordinates here, so I have xy, xy. So if I were to write that in slope formula here, I would say negative 1 minus a negative 2 over negative 2 minus 3. Well, what's negative 1 minus negative 2? That's going to give me a positive 1. Negative 2 minus 3 gets me a negative 5. So 1 over negative 5 is really going to be what? Negative 1/5. Why do I write it that way? Because the negative should always be in the numerator. All right? So take a couple seconds, find the slope of the next 3 on your own. All right, so let's look at number 2 here. I want to do a slope formula. So I would say negative, or not negative 2. 2 minus 5 over 4 minus negative 1. 2 minus 5 gets me negative 3. 4 minus negative 1 gets me a positive 5. My slope is negative 3/5. 3. I do 1 minus 8 over negative 14 minus 7. Negative 1, or 1 minus 8 is negative 7. Negative 14 minus 7 is negative 21. 2 negatives give me a positive. So I have a positive 1/3. And number 4, 8 minus 0 over 4 minus 0. 8 over 4, which gets me a slope of 2. Do y'all know how to find slope now?
Yep.
Feeling good? Remember doing that in Algebra 1 a lot?
No.
Geometry we did a lot last year? Great. Because now we're going to talk about writing equations of lines in point slope form. Now, who remembers why it's called point slope form?
Because you need a point and you need a slope.
Yeah, I need a point and I need a slope. So point slope form is, remember, y minus y1 equals m parentheses x minus x1. Okay, so there's point slope form. All right. Now, I need to plug them in here. Now, just with anything, when we're talking about equations of lines, y and x always need to be in there. So technically, this y and this x are always going to stay y and x. You don't ever plug anything into those first y and x's. It's your y1, x1, your m that you plug in. So I'm going to plug in my y coordinate. So what is the y coordinate down here? It's going to be a 0. So I'm going to say y minus 0 equals, what's my slope? 1 parentheses x minus, what's my x coordinate?
0.
Hey, y minus 0 equals 1 parentheses x minus 0. There it is. Now, how would I change that to slope intercept form? I would distribute. Now, do I need the y minus 0 on the left side? Do I need that 0? No. So it's really going to stay y equals x. And that's really the equation right there. Because those zeros just cancel out, right?
Okay.
So 6. Write the equation of the line that has a slope of negative 3 and the point negative 1/2, 5. So I'm going to start off in point slope form. Y minus, what's the y coordinate, Hannah?
5.
So y minus 5 equals, what's my slope, McCoolidge? Negative 3, parentheses, x. Now it says x minus, what's my x coordinate there?
It's a negative, so it'll be a positive.
Yep, it's going to be x minus a negative, so really that's going to be a positive 1/2. So y minus 5 equals negative 3 parentheses x plus 1/2. And that is in point slope form. Nope, we'll just stop at point slope form right there if it says that. Next one, write the equation on a line that has a slope of 1/2 that passes through the point 3, negative 2. So I'm going to put that in slope-intercept form. Katie, y what? Y plus 2. Why is it plus 2? Because it's minus a negative, right? So y plus 2 equals, what's my slope, Katie? Parentheses. What's going to come next? Very good. That is a great job there. Point slope form, not too bad, right?
Yeah.
Good work.
So it says now. Make it hard.
Until we get something like this. Now it says write an equation of the line in point slope form that passes through the points 2, 3, and negative 1, negative 5. What's wrong with this?
There's no slope.
There's no slope. In order to use point slope, I need to have slope. Allie, what do I need to do though? I need to find the slope. Am I given 2 coordinates, Allie? Yeah, I'm given 2 coordinates, so can I find the slope? Yep. I would say y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So I'd find my slope. Negative 5 minus 3 over negative 1 minus 2. Negative 5 minus 3 gives me what, Allie? Negative 1 minus 2 gives me what, Allie? Negative 8 over negative 3 gets me what, Allie? Positive 8/3. Now, do I have a slope now? How many coordinates do I have, though?
0. I got 2.
I have 2. Which coordinate do I use?
The first one.
Does it matter?
Yes.
It does not matter. I can choose either coordinate here, but I only need 1 coordinate. So whatever the other one you use, leave it off. You don't need it. Okay? The biggest mistake students make is they want to plug in both coordinates. No. You pick 1 coordinate and plug it in. So which coordinate would you like to use, Chow? So 2, 3 sounds like a great idea, Chow. I like that. That's what I would have chose. So I'm going to say y minus what, Chow? Equals, what's my slope? Parentheses. What comes next? Guess what? There's your answer right there. The big key on a problem like this is you need to find the slope and then plug it into point slope form. Okay, 9. Write an equation of a line in point slope form that passes through the points negative 1, 4, and 2, 3. Okay. Well, what do I need to do here first? I need to find the slope. So y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So 3 minus 4 over 2 minus a negative 1. What's 3 minus 4? 2 plus 1 gets me. So my slope's negative 1/3. Does everybody agree? Okay. So now which point do I want to use, Katie? I'm going to choose that one, okay? So write in a point slope form for me, Katie. Nice job. And there's point slope form. Feeling pretty good about that? Yeah.
It gets harder, right?
Does it? Think so?
You're always like, oh, I get this.
No,
this.
it's
And I'm like, oh.
That's what he does, I guess.
I'm like, man, I can do this. And he's
doesn't
like,
really
well,
get
here you go.
Then you just throw a curveball in there. It's like, oh, well,
Jeez,
yeah.
look at this assignment.
You ready to move on now? Ready?
Yeah, okay.
All right. Try these 2 on your own. Same idea. Find the slope, put it into point slope form. Try these 2 on your own. All right, number 10 here. First thing I need to do is I need to find slope. Beast, what do you find for the slope?
5/3.
So m equals 5/3. So what's my equation going to be then, Beast?
Y minus 0 5/3 x minus 0.
Nice job. Could I have used the coordinates 3, 5 as well? Yep. That would have been y minus 5 equals 5/3, parentheses, x minus 3. Same thing. 11. Write an equation line in point slope form that passes through the points 4, 10, 0, 6. Kyle, what's my slope?
I got 1.
Slope's 1. Which point did you use, Kyle?
4.
Okay, so what did you put, Kyle?
I put y minus 10 equals 1.
Nice job. If you use the other coordinates, you would have been y minus 6 equals 1 parentheses x minus 0. Great work. All right, here comes the tough stuff now. Now we're talking about parallel and perpendicular lines. Now you should recall this hopefully from geometry. All right, the slopes of parallel and perpendicular lines have a special relationship. The slopes of parallel lines are equal. So if you have two parallel lines, guess what? Their slopes are going to be the same. So notice there, the two slopes are the same. So anytime I have a parallel lines, the slopes are going to be the exact same. If the slopes are perpendicular, now the slopes are going to be what I call negative reciprocals. What's a reciprocal again? Refliprical, right? Now what's negative mean? That's just basically like the opposite. Okay, so perpendicular lines are what we call opposite reciprocals. Notice here, the slope's negative 2. This one has a positive 1/2. They are opposite reciprocals. Okay, that is the key to parallel and perpendicular lines. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to write equations of lines based on parallel and perpendicular. Now, I'm going to use point slope for it still. Okay. Here's the thing. They're going to give me a line that says it wants me to be perpendicular to a slope through a point. So the key here is I need to find the perpendicular slope of this. So if it's 1/3, what's the perpendicular slope going to be of 1/3? Yeah, it's going to be negative 3. So I take negative 3, I take my coordinate, I plug it into point slope form. Now, from point slope form, I can change it to slope intercept form. Okay, notice they have y minus 5 equals negative 3 parentheses x minus 2. Who remembers yesterday we talked about slope intercept form? Slope intercept form is solved for what value?
Slope intercept is y equals
Y equals. To put it into slope intercept form, you solve for y. It is a two-step process. The first thing you'd want to do is distribute. So I distribute the negative 3. That gives me y minus 5 equals negative 3x plus 6. That's where that is right there. And then if I want to get y alone, what would I do with that negative 5?
Add 5 to each side.
Add 5 to the other side. And I get y equals negative 3x plus 11. Guess what? That's what their final answer there is.
Alright, so it's 11 intercept.
So 11 would be like your y-intercept. Yep. All right, again, the key there is to change it to slope-intercept form. So let's look at number 12 here. It says, write an equation for the line that contains 4, 0, and is parallel to y equals 1/2 x minus 3. What do I know about the slopes of parallel lines? They're going to be the equal. They're going to be the same. So I'm going to take that slope, I'm going to take that point, and I'm going to plug it into point slope. So how would that look like in point slope form, Jake King?
Y minus 5 equals 1/2 parentheses x minus 1.
Nice job. So that's point slope form. Now, how could I change that to slope intercept form? Two-step process. The first step is to distribute. So I would distribute, giving me y minus 5 equals 1/2 x minus 2. Second step is to add or subtract to the other side. Add the 5 to the other side. Y equals 1/2 x plus 3. Guess what? Now that's in slope intercept form. Two-step process after you plug it into point slope form. 13. Write an equation for a line that contains 0, 5 and is parallel to y equals negative 2x plus 4. Parallel lines have what for slopes, Joe Daniels? Parallel lines, or what do we know about the slopes of parallel lines?
The same.
They're the same. So how would that be in point slope form, Drew?
Point slope.
Yep.
I don't know.
Point slope. So y minus y1 equals m parentheses x minus x1.
So y would be nothing, and then you minus
So y minus,
4.
what's my y coordinate?
5. Alright, so I was looking at the wrong thing. 5.
Equals, what's my slope?
Negative 2.
Parentheses x minus, what's my x coordinate?
0.
Very good. Now how could I change that to point slope or slope intercept form? What would I do?
Get the y by itself.
To get the y by itself. So I would distribute So I'd say y minus 5 equals negative 2x. And then I would add the 5. So y equals negative 2x plus 5.
How do you find the intercept on a graph?
What?
Like when you're trying to get like intercepts, how do you find them on graphs?
Yeah, look at it. Last one's here. Perpendicular lines. So I'm going to write an equation of the line through a point perpendicular to y equals negative 4x. What do I know about the slopes of perpendicular lines? Opposite reciprocals. So if my slope is negative 4, what's my perpendicular slope going to be? What? My slope is negative 4. I need opposite reciprocal. So what's going to be, Katie? 1 over 4. Opposite changes the sign. Reciprocal. I need to flip it around. So now I'm going to take my new slope and my point and plug it into point slope form. Beast, what would that look like? Nice job, Beast.
Is that it?
That's it. 15. I have a coordinate perpendicular to y equals 3x plus 1. I need to find the perpendicular slope first. What would my perpendicular slope be if my slope is 3, Joe McCoolidge? Negative 1/3. Okay, so now I'm going to take that in my point and plug it into point slope form. Katie, what would that be in point slope form? Nice job.
Plus 1, please.
That should technically go to that equation right there. That's like the constant over there. All right. The key here is finding the parallel and perpendicular slopes. All right. And that's it. There's your assignment.